Welcome again to another English language presentation. Today we shall be looking at tackling paper 1 multiple choice for CSEC English. I am your presenter, Anush Harrison Jackson. I trust that you'll find this presentation beneficial. God bless you. This presentation are as follows. At the end of this presentation, students should be able to 1. List the various topics that they will be tested on. 2. Discuss techniques that they may employ to master the different topics. And 3. Complete sections of paper 1 and consult the given answers or responses to see how well they have performed. I trust that you will find this presentation beneficial. God bless you. Grammar topics are as follows. Sentence completion, construction shift, antonyms and synonyms, equivalent sentences, error recognition, spellings. Can you think of any other topic that is placed on the paper 1 paper? If you are able to do so, please put it in the comment box below. Questions on synonyms. Instructions. Each sentence in this section has one underlined word. Choose from the 4 options the word which is closest in meaning to the underlined word. Question number 1. His profound interest in this topic was evidenced in his preparation before the debate. Profound, does it mean A. Artificial, B. Natural, C. Superficial, or D. Deep? News was released, the whole community was in a jubilant mood. Does the word jubilant means A. Joyful, B. Depressed, C. Desperate, or D. Passive? The miniature copy of the portrait was presented to the Arts Society. Is it A. Small, B. Tremendous, C. Large, or D. Minute? The prefect of the class was neutral in the argument between the two boys. Is it A. Disinterested, B. Opposed, C. Unbiased, or D. Partial? You have always made malicious remarks about your teacher. Malicious. Is it A. Harsh remarks, B. Spiteful, C. Favorable, or D. Foolish? Responses. Question 1. His profound interest in the topic was evident in his preparation before the debate. Profound. Is it A. Artificial, B. Natural, C. Superficial, or D. Deep? Yes, the answer is deep. Number 2. When the news was released, the whole community was in a jubilant mood. Is it A, jovial, B, depressed, C, desperate, or D, passive? Yes, you guessed it. The answer is A, jovial. Question 3. The miniature copy of the portrait was presented to the Art Society. Is it A, small, B, tremendous, C, large, or D, minute? And in this case, it is minute, okay? Not minute, but minute here, the pronunciation. So the actual answer for question 3 is D. Question 4. The prefect of the class was neutral in the argument between the two boys. Neutral conveys the idea that the prefect was not taking any side in the argument, and as a result of that, the prefect was A. Is it A, disinterested? No. B, opposed? No. C, unbiased? D, partial? No. So C, unbiased, right? Question 5. You have always made malicious remarks about your teachers. Now, malicious suggests very rude or unkind remarks. Let us look at the response that is closest in meaning to malicious. Is it A, harsh remarks, B, spiteful, C, favorable remarks, or D, foolish remarks? And here, CXC has assisted you somewhat. So the answer is A, harsh remarks. I trust that you have received 5 out of 5 on this synonyms activity. Let us continue. Synonyms. It is important to remember that you are looking at synonyms as CXC will give you the antonym in the option. And you would have seen that in question 5 of the activity that was previously done. Also, you need to remember that two options are clearly out of the way, right? In that they are definitely not the answer, right? While the other two options are very close. And as a result of this, you need to use context clues to select the more suited option. I trust that you'll find this tip useful. Let us now turn our attention to equivalent sentences. The instruction reads, each sentence in this section is followed by 4 sentences, A, B, C, D. Choose the one nearest in meaning to the original sentence. Be sure to read all 4 options before you select your answer. Question 6. Evidence of the high nutritional value of peanuts is in the fact that they were used by astronauts. Is it A, use of peanuts by astronauts confirms the value of peanuts? B, the fact that astronauts use peanuts is a good indication of its value. C, the use of peanuts by astronauts is good evidence of its high health value. D, the health of astronauts can be judged through their use of peanuts. Question 7. For hundreds of years, native people have known that leaves and roots can be used to treat diseases. Is it A, since centuries ago, the local or native people have known that diseases can be treated by leaves and roots? B, leaves and roots are known to be capable of curing diseases since hundreds of years ago. C, the treatment of diseases is easily handled by natives of long ago. D, centuries of treatment have shown that the natives are capable of handling diseases through local leaves and roots? Question 8. Matthew had grown very poor, but had managed to get a college education. Is it A? College education was difficult to achieve because Matthew was poor. B. Matthew's poverty as she grew made it difficult to go to college, although she went. C. In spite of Matthew's poverty, as a youth, she did achieve a college education. D. Matthew's poverty was not an hindrance in her college education. Many people believe that juvenile crime or crimes by young people is part of growing up. A. Part of growing up is consistent with juvenile crime. B. Many people excuse juvenile crime as part of one's growth. C. Many people are of the view that the crime of the youth is a stage in their growth. D. Part of growth means that crimes of the youth will be committed. Advertisers try to persuade us to buy a product through the attractive use of language, colors, and pictures. A. Advertisers use language, colors, and pictures as attractions to influence us to buy a product. B. The use of language and colors and pictures are persuasive techniques to attract buyers. C. The attractiveness of a product is done through the use of language, color, and pictures. D. The colorful use of words, pictures, and colors are the techniques used by advertisers. Responses. Check your responses. Question 6. Evidence of the high nutritional value of peanuts is in fact that they were used by astronauts. Now remember that you're looking at equivalent sentences, and as such, you must examine the original sentence, understand the meaning that is conveyed by the original sentence, and then read all four options to see which option is closest in meaning to the original sentence or reflects the original sentence. Is it A, the use of peanuts by astronauts confirms the value of peanuts? No, it didn't say that the use confirms. The fact that astronauts use peanuts is a good indication of its value. Sounds like the answer, but let's read the other two options. The use of peanuts by astronauts is good evidence of its high health value. No. D. The health of astronauts can be judged through their use of peanuts. And they say that the health can be judged by their use of peanuts. So the option there is B. The fact that astronauts use peanuts is a good indication of its value. Okay, right? Question 7. For hundreds of years, native people have known that leaves and roots can be used to treat diseases. Is it A, since centuries ago? So centuries ago, similar to hundreds of years, right? A century is 100 years. Since centuries ago, the local and native people have known that diseases can be treated by leaves and roots. So not the answer, but let us read the other options. Leaves and roots are known to be capable of curing diseases since hundreds of years ago. Well, it didn't say that they were known to cure diseases since 100 years ago. All right, so that one is out. C, the treatment of diseases is easily angled by native long ago. They say that the treatment is angled by native, so that one is out. D, centuries of treatment can be shown That the natives are capable of angling diseases through local leaves and root. Well, it didn't say that the natives angle disease through using leaves and roots. But so that one is out. So the option there is A. All right. Matthew had grown very poor but had managed to get a college education. A. College education was difficult to achieve because Betty was poor. That was not stated in the original sentence. Betty's poverty as she grew made it difficult to go to college, although she went. Made it difficult to go to college. That was not stated, and so that is out. C. In spite of Betty's poverty as a youth, she did achieve a college education. Sounds like the answer, but let us look at option D. Betty's poverty was not an hindrance in her college education. Didn't say that it was an hindrance or not, but the original sentence stated that Betty had grown up very poor but had managed to get a college education. So, in spite of Betty's poverty as a youth, she did achieve a college education. So that there, option C is closest in meaning to the original sentence given, and so option C is the answer. Question 9. Many people believe that juvenile crime or crimes by young people is a part of growing up. That's the original sentence. Now it says A, part of growing up is consistent with juvenile crime, but it didn't say that it's consistent or inconsistent, and so option A is out. Many people excuse juvenile crime as part of one's growth. Didn't say that they excuse it, so that option is out as well. C. Many people are of the view that the crime of the youth is a stage in their growth. Sounds like the answer, but let us look at option D. Part of growth means that crime of the youth will be committed. Well, it did not say that you have to. A part of growing up would mean that you commit crime. And so the option there is C. The answer is C. Many people are of the view, right, are of the opinion or belief that crime of the youth is a stage in their growth. Right. So option C would have been the answer there. Let us look at question 10. Advertisers try to persuade us to buy a product through the attractive use of language, colors, and pictures. Is it A, advertisers use language, colors, and pictures as attractions to influence us to buy a product? Sounds like it. But let us look at the other options. B, the use of language and colors and pictures are persuasive techniques to attract buyers. Well, it didn't say that there were persuasive techniques, so we know that there are persuasive techniques, but that was not stated so in the original. So that one is out. C, the attractiveness of a product is done through the use of language, colors, and pictures. Partially answer, but it didn't say persuade us to buy a product. So that one is out. C. D. The colorful use of words, pictures, and colors are techniques used by the advertisers? No. So we'll have to go with option A as the one that is closest in meaning to the original sentence. Okay, and that is A. I trust that you have received 5 out of 5 for equivalent sentences. So let us see how we can master equivalent sentences now. Mastering equivalent sentences. It is important to remember that when you are looking at equivalent sentences for CSEC English, that you read carefully all 4 options before you make your selection, as a word can make a difference. Remember also to understand the message that is being sent in the original sentence. That will determine the option that you select. I trust that you have found this tip useful. Option for error recognition reads, select the option A, B, C, or D that best describes each of the sentences and mark your choice on your answer sheet. A, if the sentence is acceptable as it stands. B, if the sentence contains cliches or misused metaphors. C, if the sentence is incorrect grammatically or faulty in diction. Or D, if the sentence is too wordy, that is repetitive, or contains redundancies. Question 11. To escape the fury of the enemy, he jumped from the frying pan and plunged into the abyss of despair, seasoned with the oil of troubled water. Is it A, B, C, or D? There is not a complete change in the system of government was because of the fact that people choose to elect the same government year after year. Is it A, B, C, or D? Fear of being caught, nor family pride are sufficient to restrain the kleptomaniac from his vicious disease. By fear and terror, I ran past the school in a desperate, panic-stricken effort to arrive at my destination, my home. Is it A, B, C, or D? The following advertisement informs us of a calendar of events in our country in the month of February. Is it A, B, C, or D? Responses. Question 11. To escape the fury of the enemy, he jumped from the frying pan and plunged into the abyss of despair, seasoned with oil of troubled water. And the option there is B, contains cliches and mixed use metaphors. Frying pan, abyss of despair, and troubled water are all metaphors. Hence, the response there is B. The reason why there was not a complete change, and you can see reason and why, all right? So we realize redundancy right there was because, again, redundancy, year after year, redundancy. So the sentence is too wordy, that is repetitive and contains redundancy. So the option for 12 is D. Question 13. Neither the fear of being caught nor family pride are sufficient. So we realize that we have a subject and verb agreement problem here. Neither the fear of being caught or family pride is sufficient. And so we would have to go with option C. The sentence is incorrect grammatically or faulty in diction. Question 15. The following advertisement informs us of a calendar of events in our country in the month of February. And we will go with option A. The sentence is acceptable as it stands. It's a little long, yes, we know, but we do not see any grammatical errors so far. If you are in agreement with 15, let me know in the comment box. If not, let me also know in the comment box. I trust that you got 5 out of 5 for this segment. God bless you. Keep working. Mastering error recognition. Error recognition. It is important to remember that when you are looking at error recognition, that you read the given instructions carefully in order to select the appropriate response. Additionally, note all errors that you see within given sentences, as there may be more than one error in some cases. In these cases, select the dominant error. I trust that you found this tip useful? Let me know in the comment box below. For more information on error recognition, you may view the attached link in the description box. Drill question construction shift. The instruction reads, revise each of the following sentences according to the directions that follow it. You may delete or include words, but do not change the meaning of the original sentence. Look at the options A, B, C, D for the word or phrase that must be included in your revised sentence, and mark the corresponding space on your answer sheet. Question 16. The students of the cricket club were permitted by the coach to practice every Saturday. Begin with the coach. Is it A, permitted, B, unpermitting, C, permit, or D, was permitting? Question 17. On receiving the packet, he went immediately to his office. Begin with when. Is it A, was received, B, he received, C, did receive, or D, had received? Question 18 reads, we were all very tired after the journey and we took a good rest before dinner. Begin with so. Is it A, that we, B, when we, C, for we, or D, and we? 19. Question 19 reads, the boys did not accept the captain's resignation. Begin with the captain's resignation. Is it A, had not accepted, B, well rejected, C, was not accepted, or D, was denied by? Question 20 reads, we had hardly started to play when the lights were dimmed. Begin with no sooner. Is it A, as the lights, B, had the lights, C, than the lights, or D, for the lights? Responses. Question 16. The students of the cricket club were permitted by the coach to practice every Saturday. Begin with the coach. Question 16. The answer is permitted. So the coach permitted the students to practice every Saturday. So A is the option chosen. Question 17. On receiving the packet, he went inside immediately to his office. Begin with when. So when he received. So option B would have been the appropriate response here. It could have been was received, did received, because that is grammatically incorrect. Had here, had received. It should have been had received and not had received. So we see here that for 17, B is the appropriate option. Question 18. We were all very tired after the journey and we took a rest before dinner. Begin with so. So tired were we after the journey that we, so that we would have been the appropriate option here. Not when we, not for we, and definitely not and we. So tired were we after the journey that we, right? So question 18A. Question 19. The boys did not accept the captain's resignation. Begin with the captain's resignation. So the captain's resignation was not accepted by the boys. So of course C is the appropriate response here. Question 20. We had already started to play when the lights were dim. begin with no sooner. And you would have recalled that no sooner must be followed by than. So no sooner had we started to play than the lights were dim. Okay, so it is C. So the appropriate response there is C. I trust that you have received 5 out of 5 on this construction shift activity. Hopefully you will get 20 out of, you have received 20 out of 20 so far. All right, let's look at a tip in mastering construction shift. Mastering construction shift. It is important to remember that when you are looking at construction shift, that you read all responses or options, even if you believe that you have found your answer. You may discover that some of the tenses given are grammatically incorrect, as in the case of did received. You may also realize that it is vital that you write out your new sentence, as this will make the selection process easier. I trust that you have found this tip useful. Did you do on the past paper drill? Was it very good? 18, ranking 18 to 20. Good, 17 to 14 out of the 20 questions. Or fair, 13 to 10. Please leave a comment. Let us know how well you did on the paper in the comment box below. God bless you. I trust that everyone ranked in the very good category. God bless you.